allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would ask that everybody please mute your cell phones. Mr. Bull, I'm sorry, Mr. Platt.
We are entertained.
It's going to be a good meeting.
Mayor Roman,
Here.
President Purcival,
Here.
Vice President Capobianco.
Here.
Mr. Bull.
Here.
Mr. Costigan. Here. Mrs. Gianakis. Absent. Mrs. Haynes.
Here.
Mrs. Skrobak.
Here.
Mrs. Murray.
Here.
Mr. Wells.
Here.
Mrs. Catania.
Here.
Mrs. Stillwell.
Here.
Mr. Taggi. Mr. Kronkowitz.
Here.
Ms. Moore.
Here. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go out of the normal order of business this evening. We're going to start with a motion to accept resolution 1886, and if Mr. Platt would read that resolution, please.
Borough of Parkside, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, resolution number 1886. Whereas Parkside Borough has been fortunate through the years with many citizens who have contributed their time, energy, and resources to enhance the quality of life for our community, and whereas one such person is Ryan Cornell, who has tirelessly advocated for the residents of Parkside Borough for the past 20 years. And whereas Ryan Cornell has served with integrity and dedication as Roadmaster for the Public Works Department for Parkside Borough since October 2004, and whereas through his vast working knowledge of the borough, Ryan provides outstanding public service to the residents of Parkside Borough. And whereas Ryan provides vital assistance to our borough through the maintenance of all municipal facilities, including road snow clearing, leaf collection, and landscaping services for all borough parks and recreational areas. And whereas in addition to his many borough tasks, Ryan maintains an active home life in his roles as a dedicated husband and father. And whereas Ryan continues to serve with dedication to the entire Parkside Borough community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the Borough Council of Parkside Borough, hereby commend and congratulate Ryan Cornell for his excellent record of dedicated service on behalf of the citizens and community of Parkside Borough during his 2 decades as Roadmaster for the Public Works Department. We extend our deepest appreciation for his role in helping to make the Borough of Parkside an outstanding community in which to live, work, and raise our families. Proclaim this day, December 18th, 2024, for the person, President Borough Council, Kimberly Roman, Mayor.
I'll entertain a motion to pass resolution 1886.
I will make that motion.
Second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? So moved. At this time, I'd like Ryan to come up.
Where am I supposed to stay?
Right in the middle. Yeah.
Ryan, it's been my pleasure to have worked with you for 20 years plus. I cannot thank you enough that every time I look out the window and I see the road clear in a major snowstorm. I know Ryan has worked too many hours in a snowstorm. He's gone over and above helping people who can't help themselves, especially our seniors. Leaf cleanup, branches on the roads, anything and anything, Ryan has put 110% in, and we thank you so much. There's a copy of the resolution, and here's a small token of our appreciation.
I'm in the little word.
Yes.
even move it. It was so low to the ground.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a presentation by our police chief and the mayor.
Thank you, Madam President. If I could have Catherine Dominic come on. This is a letter of commendation, and I will read it. It says, "It is with great pleasure that I, Mayor Kimberly Roman, concur with the endorsement of Police Chief Thomas Murray and Parkside Borough Council in issuing this letter of commendation to Crossing Guard Catherine Dominic for her actions at a motor vehicle accident as described below. On Friday, October 11, 2024, Crossing Guard Dominic was on her post at Tom Sweeney Boulevard and Upland Road when she observed a motor vehicle accident involving an overturned vehicle. Without hesitation, Mrs. Dominic jumped into action. She called 911 to report the accident and immediately went to check on the driver of the overturned vehicle. Mrs. Dominic climbed into the vehicle and found a conscious but dazed woman bleeding from the mouth and complaining of head pain. Drawing on her experience as a paramedic, Mrs. Dominic understood the seriousness of the situation and began to hold C-spine until EMS arrived and took over the patient care. As a result of her quick and decisive actions, the patient was successfully removed from the vehicle and transported to the hospital for treatment of her injuries. Your actions reflect highly not only upon yourself, but on the image and reputation of the employees of Parkside Borough. Through the authority vested in the Mayor of Parkside, you are hereby awarded this letter of commendation. Okay. Can I have Officer McEwen and Officer Fessler? Officer Stoffelbach is also receiving recognition for this, but unfortunately Doug couldn't be here tonight because of a family commitment. Same thing. So it is with great pleasure that I, Mayor Kimberly Rowland, concur with the endorsement of Police Chief Thomas Murray and Parkside Borough Council in issuing this letter of commendation to Police Officer Patrick McEwen, Douglas Stoffelbach, and Michelle Fessler for their actions involving armed robberies at the Dunkin' Donuts on Edgemont Avenue as described below. On Saturday, December 9th, 2023, and again on Sunday, December 31st, 2023, Dunkin's Donut store on Edgemont Avenue was robbed by a white or Hispanic male at point of gun. Officer Stoffelbach, along with Officers McEwen and Fessler, began an investigation which ultimately would last for 9 months. During the investigation, evidence was gathered and sent to the PSP lab for analysis. Video footage was obtained and reviewed, interviews were conducted, and suspects were identified but ultimately cleared. The investigative efforts continued through the month of August 2024, when the case was closed pending development of additional information. On September 23rd, 2024, Parkside Police were contacted by the Pennsylvania State Police Lab providing a DNA hit on the evidence submitted back in January. The case was reopened, and with cooperation from the suspect's parole officer, a positive identification was made on the suspect responsible for both robberies. Officer Stoffelbach then obtained an arrest warrant and notified surrounding departments. In the early morning hours of October 2nd, officers received a hit on an automatic license plate reader on Edgemont Avenue. Officers located the vehicle at the Wawa in Brookhaven. They observed the suspect enter the vehicle and leave the parking lot when they stopped the vehicle and took the suspect into custody. As a result of the diligence and tenacity of Officers Stoffelbach, McEwen, and Fessler, a dangerous criminal was taken off our streets, making our community a safer place. Your actions reflect not only upon yourself, but also on the image and reputation of the Parkside Borough Police Department. Through the authority vested in the Mayor of Parkside, you are hereby awarded this letter of commendation. It's up to them whether they want to stay or not.
Pat, pull back here.
I was just playing.
Hey, we're happy now.
We're gonna stay out of the normal order of business. And at this time, I would like to have Vice President Capobianco give his report for public safety.
On the public safety, I would like to make a motion to adopt the agreement between Parkside Borough and Officer McEwen as Chief of Police.
Any questions on that motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? So moved. Congratulations. Swearing in at our January council meeting. Chief McEwen
Yep.
will be privately sworn in right after the new year.
I just have a few public comments I'd like to make while all the officers are still here.
Well, most of them.
I would invite them back. I note that this is the final public meeting for Chief Tom Murray, who will be embarking on a well-deserved retirement after a lengthy and distinguished career in law enforcement. And I thought it appropriate to offer a few parting remarks. I begin by stating the obvious. Chief Murray is a gentleman, and I don't use that term loosely. Treating others with dignity and respect has been a hallmark of Chief Murray's 5-year tenure with the borough. Civility is a bedrock principle that has exemplified Chief Murray's entire law enforcement career. My second observation, Chief Murray is a leader. At its core, leadership embodies the ability to inspire, to guide, and to influence others toward achieving a common objective. It transcends mere authority. It is about vision, empathy, and the capacity to make sound decisions even in times of uncertainty. Chief Murray possesses that unique skill set to communicate effectively, motivate others, and foster a culture of collaboration and innovation. We have all witnessed firsthand Chief Murray's natural ability to work cohesively with the police officers under his command, elected officials, professional staff, residents, and community organizations. It is truly one of his best attributes and has served him well during his term as Chief of Police. Being the Chief of Police for Parkside Borough over the past 5 years has not been without its challenges. Policing through the COVID-19 pandemic ushered in a whole host of difficulties for our police department. And yet the Chief was able to guide us through it, almost uneventfully, like the seasoned professional that he is. Chief Murray also led our police department during the period when our nation experienced the George Floyd protest, the Black Lives Matter movement, and when some citizens may not have maintained a favorable opinion and disposition towards police officers. And yet, through effective community engagement and by stressing our police department's core values of integrity, respect, and trust, Chief Murray was able to promote a sense of fairness and justice to the good and diverse people of Parkside Borough. Finally, I note the Chief has been able to artfully and skillfully navigate the changing political dynamics existing within and among Borough Council, while also balancing competing interests and maintaining a focus on what is in the best interest of the borough. That is no small accomplishment. Through it all, the Chief has devoted his best efforts to making our community a better and safer place to live, to work, and to raise our families. And for that, we should all be grateful. Chief, we wish you all good things as you embark on your retirement. Enjoy spending more time with your grandchildren and exploring the world with your lovely wife. You will be missed in good old Parkside Borough.
Go back in order again. I would like to make a motion to adopt a professional services agreement between Parkside Borough and Chief Thomas Murray.
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second? Any questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? So moved. Chief Murray has agreed, just for the public's information, to help us in times of need for information or knowledge for 1 year to get the new chief acclimated. Anybody else want to go out of normal order?
Yeah, 2 more.
You got 2 more?
Yeah, code enforcement.
Please.
Report progress.
Come on, Valley here, let me over it.
Report progress and license inspections report progress.
About time. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go into correspondence. Do you have anything for correspondence?
Letters addressed to Parkside Borough, Robert Platt, Borough Secretary. Dear Robert, the Haven Borough Council has agreed to again initiate a road salt program in Parkside Borough. The program will provide you with easy access to our road salt. The Haven Borough will purchase salt from Parkside Borough to use at our cost. The distribution slip for Parkside salt will be turned over to Parkside for payment to the Brookhaven Treasurer. If you would like to continue this program next year, please send me a letter and I will follow up with the Borough Council. We look forward to working with you again this coming winter. Have a great day. Sincerely, John Wilbert, Borough Secretary. And if I may, on a personal note, I want to take an opportunity to thank Chief Dave Laney and the entire Parkside Fire Department for allowing me to participate in Candy Cane Night last Friday. I had a blast. I understand I was a little heavy with the horn and the siren. I said that Mrs. Claus might have gone deaf, and if that's the case, I will.
And that was a great photo of you on the fire truck.
I was like a kid at Christmas.
And
And they were all great with me, they really were.
We've got a wonderful crew.
The biggest thing was like, whether I get in the truck or not, and I just told Nick if I had difficulty, just grab my ass and get in.
I'd like to publicly thank the Borough for the opportunity opportunity to share the salt for this year, and hopefully we will continue it. We need to go back to make a motion to accept November's council meeting minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Let the record show that I abstained. I was not at November's council meeting to verify that the minutes were correct.
I also abstained.
And Ms. Sarah? Mayor, I'd like to announce the mayor's not feeling 100%.
She's
So
exhausted.
She's going to give the mayor's report and then move on to recreation.
Thank you, Madam President. Crimes reported in November, there was 4. There was 1 reckless endangerment, 2 theft, 1 harassment. Calls for service was 140. It was prevalent for 2 emergency calls, 7 suspicious persons, 6 building checks. Assist other agencies was 41, 5 domestic, 9 animal complaints. There were 3 accidents, 15 traffic detail, 11 motor vehicle stops, 1 traffic citation, 10 warnings, and 2 non-traffic citations. Okay, so, well, I can't believe this year is almost over. I want to thank the Recreation Committee, all of our volunteers one more time this last year. I'd like to express how much I appreciate each and every one of you. You all bring something special to our committee, and you make it fun. That's what makes everything so good. You worked your butts off, so you can have memorable and different events all for the community. The past couple of months, we did the trunk or treat along with movie night. The 7th, we had our holiday party, which was great, followed by tree lighting the next day. We enjoyed the carolers from Parkside Elementary. They came out from the chorus and sang songs for us. We had hot cocoa and cookies. The house decorating contest is still coming up. The winners will be announced on December 23rd. If anybody took any pictures of any of the events you came to this year, if you would, please tag us on Facebook. Hashtag Parkside Rec 2024. Speaking of events, we're working on next year's events in our flyer. Some of the dates and times may change. The flyers will be going out after the holidays. If you don't get a flyer by the end of January, please reach out to myself, Bob, if Bob doesn't mind. I will leave some of the flyers in the hallway. We're hoping that we can add another event, hopefully for the seniors this year, because they're always asking about doing something. So next year, our first event is going to be Me and My VIP. It was the same as Me and My Guy, Me and My Gal. We changed it. That'll be February 8th. The 18th, we're going to do our Easter bingo. March 19th, we're going to do our egg hunt. And always keep up with our events. Either the flyer that we send out or Facebook page is Parkside Recreation Committee Bulletin, or email us at parksiderec19015@gmail.com. The Recreation Committee would like to wish everybody the happiest of holidays and a happy new year. We have to figure out when we're going to have our meeting. The first meeting of the month would be January 1st. So I don't think anybody was coming on January 1st, so we'll post that when we want to do the meeting. Probably the day before, the day after. No,
Not the day before.
Third.
That's all I have to say on that report. Thank you.
Mayor, you may be excused.
Thank you.
Moving on to the fire company's chief cleaning? Wait until she leaves?
Parkside Fire Company Chief's Report for November 2024. Parkside Fire Company responded to 14 calls for the month of October, November should be. 2 building fires, 2 rescue and medical emergencies, 1 motor vehicle accident, 3 gas leaks, 2 carbon monoxide incidents, 3 false alarms, and 1 special incident. The fire company has completed our car changes along with the Upland Fire Company on our dual dispatch. Chief Jeff Hill and I will meet with Dan Voigt at the 911 Center on January 6th to go over the final details. This will help provide better coverage to all the residents in both communities. The fire company has signed an agreement with the Aniline Company for pre-planning of response in the borough. We will keep the borough advised of the progress of that. As always, the food pantry was busy over the Thanksgiving holiday, providing food to those in need. We'd like to thank CJ from the Delco Food Project for her donations that helped so many families. We have bins on the porch of the firehouse for any donations that you would like to bring. The officers and members of the Parkside Fire Company would like to wish everyone in this chamber and all the residents a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And finally, the fire company would like to announce we have 4 members that were accepted to EMT school. Our own Sarah Haynes, Lucy Cyril, Joe Greenhall, and myself will start EMT school in January, and that'll help us provide better medical care to the residents in Parkside Borough. Our financial report has not been submitted tonight because we have a computer issue. It will be done tomorrow, and it will be handed in to Bob.
Thank you, Chief. At this time, we have called the citizens for anybody that has any questions or concerns on agenda items only. Agenda items only. Okay, then. We'll ask everybody to be patient. I have a long report. I'd like to start off this evening by thanking Chief Murray for his many years of service to our community and the residents. I wish you many years of enjoyment. Hopefully you are going to retire.
I am.
I'd like to also...
Beautiful word, Chief. I hear it from many people. The R word is beautiful.
And it includes naps. Thank you to all our members of the police department who keep us safe. I'd like to thank Chief Lamey, the members of the Parkside Fire Company, for all you do and all you help with our community, and also for hosting the food pantry, which is so important right now. Thank you to our professional staff, Jay, Lisa, Donna, for keeping us on track this year. I'd like to remind everybody that there is no property tax increase this year. Thank you. Unfortunately, Delaware County Council has passed in their budget a 23% increase. So, I'd like to remind everybody, please check our website. It's full of information, as I've mentioned before, all our financial information, minutes, right to knows, forms, and I could go on as I always do. It's a wonderful and very transparent website, and I hope our residents do go on and look up the information. I'd like to thank Theo, who is not here this evening, for always updating that information. Officer McEwen has reached out to Vice President Capobianco and myself concerning a purchase next year of a speed sign. It would be moved from street to street. Though it was not budgeted for, and I'm hoping we're very careful with our money this year, that we can actually purchase one. Hopefully by the end of next year, we could purchase a second one. One would be on the east side, one would be on the west side. They can be moved from street to street. Maybe it would show people to slow down when they see that speed. We have been notified that our workers' compensation and lung insurance will be increased for 2025 by $8,220. That brings that cost up to $50,813, which is a bit more than I believe we expected. Council has had a very busy year. I'd like to just go over a few brief synopsis of the year, with starting with our $1 grant to change our lights to LEDs in the Borough Hall. We have changed, or the company has changed 24 street lights to LEDs. Unfortunately, this program is not completed. It's been promised to have been completed by the end of this year, which marks 2 years. I have not heard back from the company since October. I believe we still have 2 to 4 more lights. This bill will not be paid until this project is totally completed. We were also fortunate to do an e-recycling event this year, and hopefully we can hold another one next year, as our public enjoyed doing that. Recreation Committee did a wonderful job with all their events, and we look forward to having their calendar for next year. Hopefully Community Day will be a little warmer this year. I'd like to personally thank the mayor and all the volunteers for our Recreation Committee. I recently signed the agreement with Delaware County to extend the planning grant that we almost lost from November of 2022. We will move forward with the consultants and the volunteers to complete this study in 2025. We instituted a rodent program in the woodlot to help the residents along our property lines. We had many trees come down this year in the woodlot. Unfortunately, they should have been taken care of last year. 2 of these trees fell on fences, which cost the borough extra funds. We have also been very fortunate to be able to purchase a tractor that will help clean up the woodlot, and also a new leaf machine, which was much needed. I again would like to thank our wonderful highway person, Ryan, for all he does. A quick shout out to our junior council members, especially Daniel, for his diligence in fundraising for the Memorial Garden, which will be started next year. Thank you to all of our junior council members for all the volunteer positions that they have done this year. All of our bank accounts have been updated, removing prior employees that were still listed on our accounts since the beginning of 2023. We have removed and closed out old escrow accounts, transferring those monies to the general fund in the amount of approximately $35,000. Thank you to our secretary, Mr. Platt, for his never-ending diligence in dealing with all our bank issues. All of our ordinances have been codified from September of 2022 up until current. Somehow this issue was never followed up on from that time frame. Many of our ordinances have been amended. I am especially grateful for the ordinance concerning the 1/2 permit fee for our seniors, disabled, and our veterans. Absentee forms are now currently being used when necessary. We have applied for 3 grants and have recently applied for, on behalf of the fire company, a grant for a new ambulance. As everyone heard last month, we recently received $75,000 from an HVAC grant, so that part of the building, hopefully in the spring, will have air conditioning and improvement to the heating system. Hopefully, Edgemont Avenue sinkholes will be repaired by the end of this coming year. We have this year executed 2 contracts, one for towing service and our trash contract, that will be good for the next several years. We have reached a memorandum of understanding with the FOP concerning the 12-hour police shift issues. As you heard this evening, we have moved forward with 2 more contracts involving our current and upcoming police chiefs. Thank you, Vice President Capobianco, for all your help with these. Council did activate the Civil Service Commission concerning the position of police chief. The zoning board has also been enacted and did approve an application for a new house of worship, which will be at the old church on Edgemont Avenue. We will have a resolution this evening concerning both entities' personnel changes due to several persons' terms being expired at the end of this year. Our wonderful newsletter, which has been put out quarterly, has been hand-delivered to our residents, and I'm sure they appreciate it because we're getting so much positive feedback from them. We have also updated our emergency operations plan, and it's been forwarded to the county. I'd like to thank our Fire Marshal, Dan Smith, for all his diligence in dealing with these issues and our EOP. Thank you. We have also hired crossing guards, temporary crossing guards, and placed a crossing guard at West Garrison and Tom Sweeney for the safety of the children. I'd like to thank all of you for your hard work this year. It's been an amazing, productive year. We could not have asked for anything more. I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and a joyous Kwanzaa. Thank you. Moving on, finance report, Mr. Bull.
Thank you, Madam President. Well said. Appreciate it. Report to Parkside Borough, date December 16th, meeting December 18th, 2024. All bank accounts are reconciled through November 30th, 2024, and are including the bank reconciliation and statements for all reconciled funds for council's approval. General fund for the month of November, $40,668 was deposited into TD Bank, with expenses of $115,310 that were paid, including the transfer of $50,000 to Sharon Bank. During this time, $81,273 of deposits were received into Sharon Bank General Fund, including $50,000 from TD Bank General Fund, and $59,977 of expenses were paid, including payroll of $56,798. Year-to-date interest income is $29,303, and below are the bank balances per the bank statements on November 30th, 2024. General account ending in Sharon Bank balance $100,611.66. General account TD Bank $80,037.22. General account Pliget $681,283.33. The rest are of de minimis value but have been reconciled. With that, I would make a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? So moved.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I would like to make a motion to pay the bills.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
I will abstain.
And one abstain. Thank you.
Thank you again, Madam President. At this time, I would just reiterate that the budget had a preliminary reading in November, and it was approved to be advertised. It was duly advertised, and at this time, I would like to make a motion to approve the 2025 budget.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? I would like to make a brief comment and thank Donna, Mr. Bull, for all your hard work to keep this so that there is no property tax increase for 2025. Thank you very much. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? So moved.
And to reiterate that, I'd like to thank the work of all the council. Everybody did a fantastic job with that, kept things moving along in the right direction with your leadership. At this time, I would like to make a motion to adopt Resolution 1885, which authorizes the borough's participation in the Pliget P-Card program. It's essentially so that the borough can have a credit card. I am kind of sort of on the fence with it, but I've been advised that it's the best way in 2024 to move forward. So I'm not going to vote against it, but if there's a hey, I'm not 100% on board with this, there's a box to check. And I would just say that, you know, with the good counsel of the treasurer, I do believe it should be reconciled monthly and not carry any balance. I don't know if we can make that part of the resolution or.
I think it automatically gets paid anyway, through the plate.
Through the plate, that is correct.
Just
Yeah.
want to make sure it's said out loud.
And there is a monetary monthly limit.
Of $2,500.
Yeah.
And that would, you know, that will help with smoothing some of the things where it does become a hurry. Doesn't have to become a hurry, but in some cases, it does come up quickly to avoid any fees. So I would like to make the motion to approve resolution 1885.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? I do have to make the comment, the same as Mr. Bull, I'm on the fence. We have discussed this, and our treasurer will keep a definite eye on this. We put a credit limit on there. Everything will be taken care of and reviewed monthly. If it does not work correctly, it'll be stopped. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? So moved.
Thank you, President. Again, I would like to make a motion to adopt resolution 1887. This resolution sets our tax levy at 9.90 mils, which is roughly 99 cents for every $100 of assessed valuation on your home. And since I have a bunch of other motions, I prefer not to read the whole thing, but it will be advertised or shared. I would like to make that motion.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? So moved.
Thank you again, Madam President. At this time, I would like to make a motion to adopt Resolution 1888, which is an allocation of the SLFRF funds. This is a resolution whereas the coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds program authorized by the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, delivered $350 billion to state and territorial and local governments across the country to support the response and the recovery of COVID-19 from the COVID-19 public health emergency. Whereas SLFRF funds provided substantial flexibility for each recipient to address the unique needs of their local communities within several eligible use categories as defined by the U.S. Department of Treasury, and whereas the Borough of Parkside is a recipient of such SLFRF funds and wishes to allocate said funds to replace lost public sector revenue due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It also goes on to say there, be it resolved, Borough Council, or Parkside, for today's date, that the borough is hereby authorized to allocate SLFRF funds in the sum of $164,674.59 to replace public sector revenue lost during the COVID pandemic. I will make that motion.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? So moved.
Thank you again, Madam President. At this time, I would like to move on to the open space report. There have been some trees that did fall. When we did the cleanup last year, we focused mostly behind East Shelton. I don't know the best way, where the gazebo was supposed to go.
I know where you're talking.
Unfortunately, the Emerald Ash Borer did cause a lot of desiccation. We do have a nice stand of oaks and poplar up there with a couple cherries that are showing a little bit of signs of distress. They were cleaned up last year. There are a couple that have failed that are further down into the actual Ford Fitness Trail that I do think need to be addressed in this upcoming year. I would hedge a bet that it would be somewhere around $4,000 to have the one that has leaders that had failed across the path and is actually over the temporary roadway that Mr. Cornog uses frequently. Just keeping everybody up to speed on that one. We have not taken bids or anything of that nature at this time, and there are no direct properties that would be impacted in the event of a failure. It is a native area, but we should keep it taken care of. And with that said, Ryan has reached out to me, and we had spoke about collecting the Christmas trees again this year. So please lay low on the tinsel. It's a 1970s thing. And then when you put your trees out, we can recycle them properly, chip them up, and get them taken care of. So throughout the month of January, B&L does leave them off to the side. If they're there for too long, they'll snatch them just to keep our borough clean. But Ryan will pick them up through the month of January, and then we'll recycle them properly. And at the end of January, maybe early February. So I just want to let everybody know that. And after that, I would like to report general progress and wish everyone the happiest of holidays.
Can the trees that are starting to fail wait until spring, or is that something we need to look at after the new year?
I mean, pricing is definitely a little bit more on the borough's side when it comes to things like that.
Okay.
That'll be at the discretion of council, but I certainly can show everybody pictures of, long dead standing stags that have been failing. So we've had a couple complaints from residents where it crosses the street and a few things like that, but that's council.
Can we look to get maybe some information to do this after the new year?
Oh, absolutely.
I just
That's what I'm
don't.
here for.
Thank you. I just don't want to see any of these trees cause more damage that cost us more money.
The only one
You
that really
take one
gives
down and then
me,
there's three that go down with it.
yeah, the only one that gives me pause is, I don't even know the number of the workout station, but it's up on one of the slopes. If it failed, it could conceivably catch a couple parked cars in Park Valley, as far as that goes. So it's a legitimate concern, and that's why I brought it up to council.
If everybody's okay, then I think we need to at least get a price and an idea for the beginning of the year. And that way, we're not paying anybody's deductibles on their car insurance or their fences or anything else.
I concur.
Thank you, Doug. Junior Council Person Committee, Mr. Costigan, do you have anything for this evening?
Thank you, Madam President. I don't have anything to report for Junior Council. I don't think the two members do.
We'll keep it moving then. Well, we skipped most of everything. Can we go to ordinances then?
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to make a motion to adopt ordinance number 584, which is setting the trash fee at $490 for a single family and two family dwelling.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Approved.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution 1883, appointing Catherine D. Dominico to the zoning hearing board and appointing Ken Henry as an alternate to the zoning hearing board.
Second.
Any questions on the resolution?
I do have a couple of questions, Madam President. What was the process that we went about for selecting members?
Mrs. D. Dominico was an alternate, so I
Mhm.
contacted her to see if she was interested in becoming permanent. I asked Mr. Platt for the folder of those members of the community that were interested in being on a committee. And I contacted Mr. Henry, because he had applied, and asked him if he'd like to be an alternate, and he said most definitely.
Okay. Well, I guess before that, why didn't we announce that at a council meeting that it was going to be open?
My understanding is that prior president set precedent that she did not do that either.
Okay, and,
But the committee person for zoning, her term ends at the end of the month.
right. Was she asked if she wanted to be reappointed?
No, I went into the folder for all those that were not selected and contacted them
Okay,
because they showed interest this time last year.
okay.
And that's how I made this. And you're gonna find there's also one for civil service. The same thing. Any other questions or concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? So moved.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution 1884, appointing Mike Purcival to the Civil Service Commission.
Second.
Any questions or concerns?
Madam President, the same question, was it the same, what was the process we went about for?
The same process, we had one person whose term is ending. Again, I asked Mr. Platt for the folder of anybody that had sent an email or a letter, or had notes, you know, that they were interested in serving on any of our committees. And I talked to this gentleman, and he was interested.
Okay, I just think it's unfortunate because the member whose term is ending was interested in serving again and was never asked to be reappointed.
I will put that in the notes, definitely, because there'll be another term expiring at the end of next year. There'll be 2 committees that have members that are expiring at the end of next year.
Okay, and I just want to point out that when we created the Civil Service Commission, we had an application and then interviews that the police committee interviewed the candidates. I felt like it was a more open and transparent process, and I just want to point that out, and maybe the next time there's an opening on a commission, we
Definitely.
can solicit applications and have interviews with people maybe.
And I will put her name back into the folder. I will ask Bob to do that.
Okay.
I got a question for
Sure.
Councilman. So you said that we didn't notify the person who wanted to run again, and you said that you just told the president that she wanted that job again?
That's my understanding, yes.
Oh, it's your understanding.
I spoke to
You spoke to her?
communicated with her, yes,
And when did you know that?
yesterday.
And why didn't you tell us? We could have did something about it.
Well, I wish she had made known, because she should have known that her term was up. I wish she had left word with Bob or something, so that we could have known that she was still interested.
Yeah.
But I will make sure that Bob, there's an ongoing folder, I'll make sure that it's put in there. Any other questions or concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? So moved.
And the only thing I had was to mention what you had already mentioned about the grant agreement extension that was expired on September 30th and did get extended for December 31st next year. So thank you again for getting that again and working on that for us.
Very fortunate.
Yes, so we didn't lose that.
Save that one.
And I'd like to wish everybody happy holidays as well. And thank you.
Moving on, Public Works to Miss Allison, who's not well.
She did not, but Ryan sent me something today.
Do you want to read that?
Sure. We just wanted to report on the leaf collection. It was a great success with the new machine. 12 days, we were out picking up leaves, 150 separate stops, 18 truckloads to the compost pile. And now that he's setting up for winter. So he was quite pleased with how that went. He actually went out a few days, I think we had originally scheduled 3 weeks. We had gotten some calls from residents, so he went out and took care of those. And it just, with the new equipment, it was easy for him.
Great, great, thank you. Emergency Management, Mr. Smith?
Yes. Good evening. Fire Marshal Emergency Management report for November 2024. For Fire Marshal, there was no call outs for the month. Emergency management wise, With the help of Lisa from Catania Engineering, we finally completed our year-long journey of submitting the borough's hazardous mitigation plan. So that's been submitted. This year alone, we were able to bring the borough into compliance with the County Department of Emergency Services, completing both the HMP and the EOP, like President Purcival has spoke of. With that, we did get a certificate of completion from Delaware County Emergency Management on the 2024 Municipal Visit Program. I did also submit a copy of that to Bob and President Purcival. So that's my report. I just want to take this time to thank Council, as well as the Police Department with Chief Murray and the Fire Company with Chief Leamy on a great year, and look forward to working with you guys next year. So, thank you.
In council, we were awarded this certificate for our participation. And I will have Boss put it up in the office, and everybody can see. Certificate of Completion, Delaware County Emergency Management 2024 Municipal Visit Program, presented on this 11th day of December 2024 to Parkside Borough in appreciation of your dedication to building a stronger, more resilient community. So I'm very proud to have that. Thank
Is
you.
that our first one?
Yes.
There you go, Dave. There you go, Dave.
We will hang it up. You didn't have, Mr. Smith, you don't have anything else, correct?
I do not. I'm sorry.
Super. Hometown Heroes and Recycling, Mr. Costigan.
Thank you, Madam President. For Hometown Heroes, I can just report general progress. And for recycling and trash, the totals for the month of November, trash was 91.61 tons, recycling 9.16 tons. And just a reminder, there will be no recycling pickup on Christmas, week of Christmas or New Year's, because both are on Wednesday, so obviously there will be no pickup those days.
On the website?
It should be on the website, am I correct?
I believe it was sent to Theo.
Okay. Communications, Mrs. Haynes.
Yes. The community did a lot of really fun events. We had Nick get a lot of pictures, and Sue Dolan took a lot of pictures, and they made them available to me in different various social media websites. The newsletter rough draft is finished now. If anybody on council wants to review it and submit any changes or additions, I'm more than happy to review them. I love seeing how much our community has grown this year. It's beautiful. It's just so exciting. And the love and all the events, the love at the fire department, and how everybody's coming together. I'm just so grateful for that.
And me too. Me too. We've had an amazing year with amazing organizations who have all pulled together. We're very pleased and very blessed. I understand Mr. Fisher did not have a tax report.
Actually, he did.
He
When I
did.
came- When I came back tonight, it was on my...
It was on your desk. Go ahead.
Good evening. Treasurer has received a total of $1,407,988.44 to date. There was $8,389.07 in revenue deposits from November 10th, 2024 to December 17th, 2024. Regards, Ed Fisher. And I have the check for $83,8907. I'll see the time against it.
Money is good. We'll go on to our engineer's report, Mrs. Catania.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to give you updates on some things we've been working on. The LSA for the ambulance, we talked about that, was submitted. So I appreciate the cooperation that I had with several of this group so we could get that done. I am not, by any stretch of the imagination, I'm an engineer. I am not an emergency services EMT, so I had to lean on a few people to get some information so that we put the right justification in the application. So that worked out pretty well. The Pico Green Region grant was also submitted. That will help us in two ways. The rain garden, which is part of the junior council project, was submitted along with the addition of trees that we lost in the past couple of years, so that we can bring some of the areas that were devastated back to life. That includes trees and understory. Keep the erosion down, and it helps us in the end. As a matter of fact, we can use it for credit in our MS4 program. The Edgemont Avenue, I had told you last that I was trying to get it done mid this month. I'm gonna have to wait until after the holiday. We have a shortage of help these days. We got hit with the virus in our office. So it's been going through, and if it goes through my office, they're all fired. I'm only kidding. Oh, this is taped. I shouldn't say that. The completion report for the 2024 road program was also submitted to PennDOT. And I want to thank Donna and her gang gave us all the smooth cancel checks that we needed to complete that task. And I have contacted Dave Schwartz from Collier, who is going to be doing the mini pros. Michelle sent me some dates that she's available. We'll have a kickoff meeting and then the first meeting of the study committee sometime probably late January. Okay. Otherwise, I can report general progress. I want to wish everyone a safe, be smart holiday from our family to yours.
Thank you. Thank you for your gift.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Wells.
Yes, thank you, Madam President, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The December 18th Solicitor's Report is as follows. Number one, my office had drafted the new 5-year employment agreement between the borough and the new chief of police, Patrick McEwen, outlining the terms and conditions of his employment, again commencing January the 1st of 2025 and ending on December 31st of 2029. That agreement was ratified by Borough Council earlier this evening. Number two, my office also drafted a 1-year police consulting agreement, again, between the borough and soon-to-be former police chief Thomas Murray, wherein the former chief will be providing police consulting services and professional law enforcement guidance to our new police chief and our police department over the next year. And again, Borough Council ratified that agreement as well. Number three, 133 East Roland Road. The property owner there had filed an application for a zoning permit with the borough to utilize the property to conduct a home-based federal firearms licensed business. Again, this property is situated in the borough's R1 residential zoning district. A professional home office in a dwelling unit is not a use permitted by right in the R1 zoning district. It is only permitted by special exception through application with the zoning hearing board. So that property owner's application for a zoning permit was denied. Again, and he was provided with his appeal rights should he wish to seek a special exception with our zoning hearing board. Fourth item concerns 3100 Edgemont Avenue. A proposed purchaser of this subject property had filed an application for a zoning permit with the borough. Again, the applicant sought to utilize the property as a convenience store. This property is situated in the borough's C1 commercial zoning district. The operation of a convenience store is actually use permitted by right in the zoning district, and the zoning officer had conditionally approved that application with a whole host of conditions that were included in the zoning approval letter. Fifth, my office drafted various resolutions, again approving new members to fill vacancies on the Civil Service Commission and the Zoning Hearing Board. And of course, Borough Council voted earlier this evening to approve those resolutions. 6, my office also drafted the resolution fixing the 2025 real estate tax levy. As we know, through Act 51 of 2019, it authorizes boroughs to adopt a tax resolution as opposed to an ordinance when the tax rate is the same or lower than the previous fiscal year. And again, I'm pleased to advise, it's been announced here on multiple occasions, that the borough is not raising property taxes for 2025. Number 7 concerns 104 East Shelton Road. Again, earlier this month, the borough had received a full payment, including court costs, attorneys, and interest on a trash fee lien that had been filed against this property. My office has filed the appropriate lien satisfaction with the Delaware County Court. 8th, again, my office also drafted the resolution authorizing the Pliget credit card account, and we have spoken about that at length here this evening, and it was also the pleasure of Borough Council to adopt that resolution. And finally, I had also drafted the resolution with regard to the local fiscal recovery funds, and again, that we basically allocated those excess funds to replace public sector revenue loss during the COVID-19 pandemic. 10th, I had the opportunity and the pleasure to attend the Borough Holiday Party at the Fire Company 2 weeks ago. Also had the pleasure of attending the Christmas breakfast with Santa at the Parkside Fire Company as well. Again, both events very well attended, a very enthusiastic crowd, had an opportunity to engage with the public, and that is all good stuff. And then finally, again, I want to wish everybody a happy holiday, a safe, again, healthy and prosperous New Year. And with that, Madam President, I can report general progress.
Thank you, Jay. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, it's called a citizen. If anybody would like to address council, this is your opportunity. You can go to the podium.
I don't want to get all nervous when you have to talk.
It's okay.
So, one thing since I'm here.
Could you give your name,
Oh, I'm
please?
sorry. My name is Rose Shirly. I live at 18 West Garrison. And about the credit card, just all credit card processing fees are going to start to be pushed to the buyer. My brother sells credit card processing fees. So just whenever you use it, make sure you're not paying 3%, you know. Does everybody understand what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Yeah, okay.
Agreed.
Yeah, and then maybe we want to cut a check. So, good evening, council. I'm here, I put in a request for a temporary handicap parking spot to Bob on 2 days ago, I think. And it's per Borough Code 176-40, you can ask. And I filled out, he gave me the borough's application for this, so I have it all filled out and everything. The thing is, this is for like a 2 or 5 year spot, and I just need it for less than 30 days, or maybe next week, the cleaners will find the key to the car that's dead in the driveway that's blocking my ability to put my new old car in where it belongs in the driveway. So I wanted to know if this, I have to get this filled out by a doctor, which I could get, but by the time I do that, the whole thing will be moot. And I've been parking, because I can't always walk from down the street, especially if I have groceries or whatever, I don't even, they end up in the car overnight. I've been parking behind the car that's dead and whose key is lost. How much do you want to hear about this? I just wondered if maybe we could approve a very short term.
I believe the form that you were given was for a handicap parking space. And that form goes to your doctor, and I believe it used to also be signed off by the police department. But you have a driveway and therefore you don't qualify for a spot on the street under a handicap parking spot. And we don't do temporary spots.
Okay,
Either you
that's-
have a driveway or you don't, and then you would have a handicap parking spot. But we don't give somebody 30-day parking on the street. I mean, you can park on the street as a public roadway, and you don't need a specific placement card or sign. You can just park on the street.
Yeah, everybody's pretty territorial about the parking.
It's very close on that street, yes.
So anyway, thank you for that, Madam President. 176-40 does say temporary, and I don't think I'll need it for 30 days. I just need to, the car died right before Thanksgiving. A friend gave me her old, car, and I haven't been able to find the key to move the one, it's parked at the end, to move it up so I can fit it. So I've been just parking right behind it, blocking the sidewalk, because mostly, everybody's taking up all the space.
Can you get somebody to push it up further up in your driveway?
We'll hook you, see if we can get somebody to do
You can
that.
push it.
Thank you.
Get somebody to push it.
Thank you.
You can push it.
It's a stick shift.
We'll
You
get
can move it, okay, because then, all right.
There you
Good, and
go.
we don't, I did all this, I copied
Problem
everything.
solved. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He's doing
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I might need help with snow shoveling.
That's how everything works.
You have a snow blower.
Does anybody else wish to address council? Yes, sir.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Can I get your name first?
Yes, for sure. I'm Brandon Taylor DiBardino Pelusi Lomax. My great-grandparents bought a house on West Garrison in Tom Sweeney back in 1989. Moved next to her sister there, and I've been living there ever since. 94 I was born. My birthday was just December 16th, so I'm 30. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's what I was looking for right there. I was just, just so everybody know that, the other day I experienced some type of interaction with a police officer, and I was just trying to figure out, I know that my residential house, how many people can you have in a residential house before people being outside of your house is considered nefarious?
It's the numbers of bedrooms that are there per person equals how many bedrooms you have. So if you have a 3-bedroom, and our fire marshal is sitting here, if you have a 3-bedroom house, then we're going to guess you're going to have 2 people in each bedroom, that's 6.
I do have a 3-bedroom house, but I also have a lot of family and friends that love to see me at all times of day and night.
Let's let Mr.
I
Smith.
think that's something that's we have to look into the housing
Okay.
to see what the property is. Because it depends on the size of the bedrooms too.
It depends on the size of the bedrooms, how many friends and family you can have over at one time, sir?
That's correct.
Okay, so this goes for holidays as well.
Correct.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, that type of information right there.
And our engineer just pointed out.
Yeah, I'd like to hear it.
Why don't you check our ordinances, because there is a specific ordinance on square footage.
Well, I was coming to you guys, I mean,
You wanna talk
do you
to
know
the
the
gentleman
ordinance?
afterwards?
So I can write it down? Because I've been a fan, I've been watching you guys for years. This is my first meeting, but I'll probably be coming back.
He's gonna talk to
Yeah.
We're
Oh,
always-
perfect. He's gonna talk to me after the meeting.
And again, I don't wanna say I push the website, but the website has our ordinances on it. You'll see in a couple of days, everything we did here is going to be on it.
I watch every month, yep. So what I'll do is I'll print out the ordinances, and next month when I come back, I'll bring it with me, and
Okay,
I'll talk to you after the meeting. But that's it, yeah.
thank you. Going once, going twice.
I'm giving you a Christmas present this week.
Oh, you gotta do it for old time's sake. All right, we're gonna move on to the old business. I do only have one thing of old business. Mr. Platt
What? Santa Claus isn't going to be good to you.
Would you please send the prior members of the Zoning and Civil Service Commission a thank you letter on behalf of council for their service in the last 2 years? I appreciate that. Anybody else have any old business?
Make a motion to adjourn.
We can get to the new business.
Yeah.
Way past his bedtime.
Does anybody have any new business? Mr. Bull?
Super quick. Met with Daniel about the Memorial Garden down there. His family planted 6 of the crepe myrtles where
Yes.
there were some that were damaged. That's moving along, and I believe there's a tentative new home to where the Memorial Garden will be. It's been laid out, with marking paint that'll go away after a little bit, but it's tentative, so hopefully that moves along into something we can have between the engineer and everybody else, working together for, to have that ready for perhaps even the springtime.
And I thank you, Mr. Bull. Also, Doug and I had a quick conversation about that garden. Daniel, one of the ideas that we had, and I'm not sure how we got into talking about it, was to have a bench with an archway above it so that we could grow some, not we, but Daniel can grow some viney things. And it would be a perfect place for a prom picture, a wedding picture, any type of celebration. So we have been kicking around some ideas, so just so you know. Anybody else have any new business, old business? Nick?
Go ahead, Nick.
Motion to adjourn.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays.